Do you get stuck on tests or find yourself riddled with anxiety? Well, I've got some study tips to help. Hi, I'm Dr. Bianca Bush. I'm an adult, child, and adolescent psychiatrist. I am the author of Test Anxiety No More, a 6-step process for college and graduate students' exam success, and also founder of Test Anxiety No More, an e-course for high-achieving students. So let's get into it. There are a lot of things that you can do with your studying so that when you get to test day, you are ready. Ask me how I know. I have had my own history with test anxiety, and I'm excited to help everyone. So, number 1, think about engaging active recall and spaced repetition. You can do this with flashcards that are online with Anki, or you can make flashcards out of index cards. But really the point is engage your mind so that you're really thinking about, okay, bringing that memory to mind, what's on one side, what's on the other. You can do a lot of fun things with this. Pictures, color coding. You can make a game out of it. You can have someone who doesn't even know about the subject that you're studying quiz you. And all of these things are going to help you remember, right? If you're working with a friend or a family member and you're like, okay, quiz me on this, they're going to say, what the heck does this term mean? Well, it gives you an opportunity to explain it to them and teach them. So, number 1, active recall and spaced repetition. Number 2, chunking information. Really thinking about what things go together that you have to learn. Putting those concepts together, writing them side by side on your paper. If you're doing mind mapping or something like that, putting them close together on the diagram. But really putting 2 or 3 things together can help your mind remember them. So break this content that you have into smaller, manageable chunks so that it's less overwhelming, and then put that information together. You'll be more likely to remember it. Another powerful tip is really to use the Pomodoro technique. I talk about this in a lot of my social content, especially if you have ADHD, this is effective, right? We're gonna take our work and we're gonna break it into increments, small time increments, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, and then we're gonna take a break for 5 minutes or so. Repeat, work for 25, 30 minutes, take a break for 5-10 minutes, right? This is really effective. It can help you feel accomplished because you're like, okay, I had a solid 25 minutes of working. Now I'm gonna spend 5 minutes of rest time. Do that a few times and then maybe take an extended break, right? Take an extended 30-minute break or something like that. I find this effective for myself because sometimes I've got a lot to do. And if I can just break things down, I'm like, all right, I worked for a solid 25, 30 minutes. And then sometimes I get really into it and I'm like, oh, an hour has passed and my task is done. All right, so we've gone through 3 techniques so far. I want to take a pause and just highlight that all the things that I'm talking about, you can find in the link below. I've made a list of these 10 tips to help you beat test anxiety. Number 4, practice under test-like conditions. If you do this when you're studying, when you get to exam day, it's going to feel less intimidating. It's going to feel comfortable. It's going to feel familiar. So that may include going to the classroom or the lecture hall where you're going to have the test, sitting there, really observing what it feels like. I was talking to someone recently and they were saying, oh yeah, when I got to the test, the room was really cold, and that's not something I anticipated. So if possible, go to your testing site, your testing center, your lecture hall, and sit there, hear the sound of the fan, the heater, the creaks of the radiators if you're in an old building. That can help prepare you for test day. Now, if you're at home for an online proctored exam, maybe you want to replicate that scene, right? Figure out where you're gonna sit, what desk you're gonna use, what you wanna have handy. Is there a quieter place in the house to be? Do you need a little bit of noise distraction? So maybe you want to sit somewhere that's not so quiet. The point is to practice it so that, again, when test day comes, you're not hit with a surprise about the testing environment. Number 5, visualization exercises. I love these. I love to do them with my patients. I love to do them with the folks that I'm coaching on test anxiety, because if you can see what's happening, where you're going, it really is going to help you reduce anxiety and build confidence for test day. So some of the visualization exercises that I'll do with students, I'll actually visualize studying, really getting in there. Studying alone can be intimidating and you can procrastinate, but if you're like, okay, I know I have class from this time to this time. I'm going to come home. I'm going to have a snack. I'm going to sit down in this chair at my desk, just really rehearsing exactly what you're going to do. That's visualization. And you can really add some positivity in there, right? You can envision yourself really understanding the material that you're studying, gaining some clarity, getting through the material, really making some progress, and that's helpful as well. You can visualize test day. This is really, really powerful. And again, something that I do with my patients or folks that I'm coaching, we will look at Google Maps. We'll look at the testing center. Sometimes there will be pictures of inside of the testing center, usually just the lobby or the waiting area, but it's still good to have that in mind, right? We will start from 6 or 7 or 8 a.m. when the person wakes up in the morning and sort of rehearse exactly what they're going to do. What are you going to have for breakfast? How are you going to get to the testing center or to the lecture hall? Just really taking step by step. So again, when you get to that test, you have already really rehearsed in your mind what's going to happen. We can also, through the visualization, anticipate times that we might get stuck in the test, or we might feel anxious in the test and say, okay, I came across a question, I'm not exactly sure what to do. Let's practice what we're going to do in that exam. So visualization can be so powerful and so helpful. You can do this by yourself. You can do it with a friend. Sometimes it's nice to do it with another person because they can help you see where you might get stuck and think about some strategies to get unstuck. Next, incorporate multisensory learning. This is really important because everyone has a different way of learning. Some people talk about different learning styles. You know, some of that science has been debunked. However, I think it is really powerful to understand how your mind best takes in information. Do you like to hear things? Do you need to talk them out? Do you need to move around? Do you need to write things out? Is it most effective for you to read, right? So whatever it is, you want to try to engage your senses in that way. For some people, they need to move while they learn. So perhaps listening to the lecture while they're going on a walk, walking on a treadmill, riding a bike, stationary bike, something like that is going to be an effective way for them to take in the information. You might be someone who's really visual and you need to draw things out. You need to make diagrams. When I study for my board exams, I am a visual person. I like to move around. It helps me remember things. So these walls in this office, sometimes they're covered with either sticky notes or diagrams or papers, and I can really walk around, see the concepts that I'm trying to remember. And on test day, I remember, oh yeah, that developmental psychologist, those theories were over there on that side of the room. There were 4 of them, and I can kind of see it in my mind, right? So you want to really visualize in your mind. So I've gone over a lot of things right now. I want you to comment below if you've ever tried any things or any of these things that you think you want to try. All right. So I love comments. Put them below. I'd love to see what you're thinking. Next, we can think about mindfulness and breathing exercises. These are some of the most common things that someone will recommend for you when you're experiencing test anxiety. Mindfulness can be things like visualization that we talked about, or really listening to meditations on any of the popular meditation apps. Breathing exercises, really engaging that diaphragmatic breathing, which is going to help counter that anxiety response, right? Those are excellent ways to calm your nerves before exams. I've got some examples of these on my TikTok and on my Instagram. I'd be happy for you to check them out so that you can study and take your tests with less anxiety. Creating a study plan. This probably should be number 1 instead of talking about it this far down, but having a defined plan can really go a long way to reducing anxiety, because if you know what you need to do, you can tackle it. Sometimes I work with my students and they're not exactly sure what they need to do, right? You get your syllabus at the beginning of the semester and you're looking at it and it's like, okay, where do I begin? Right? Where do I start? So really going through that syllabus, creating some kind of study plan. Maybe you're just doing it a few days at a time, the planning, or even a week at a time, whatever it is. Having a plan is going to help you stay on task. When you accomplish things on that list on your plan, you are going to feel good, encouraged, and you're going to keep going. So creating a study plan is essential. Positive affirmations. I love using positive affirmations. They can help sort of change your mind. When we have anxiety, we may tend to go to the negative, right? We may tend to think of things that the bad outcome or the poor outcome, right? Well, positive affirmations can help pull us away from that, pull us towards positivity, and really help us shift our mindset. So you might say something to yourself like, I'm prepared and I can handle this. I've got tons of affirmations. Hopefully we'll get those out to you soon, but these can be a great way of reducing your anxiety. And finally, create some reward systems. These can improve your motivation and help you get more studying done, right? So a couple of things that you can do. One, you can pair an activity that you don't like to do with something that you really do like to do, right? Maybe you've got a task where you've got to sort through things. It doesn't require your full attention. You can get a good podcast or a show, something going on in the background, something that you enjoy, or even some good music. You can also just create sort of straight rewards. When you finish a task, you give yourself a reward. Again, maybe it's meeting up with a friend. Maybe it's getting your favorite treat. Maybe it's going to play a sport. Anything that makes you feel good and will be something that you'll look forward to will be fantastic to reward yourself with after you've completed a big set of studying tasks, or maybe you're preparing for an exam, or maybe even after the exam, right? So these are all great tips. I have told you about 10 things. I want you, if you want a copy of this, there's going to be a link below in the description where you can download a PDF with all of these tips. Use them for yourself, share them with a friend, let us know how it goes. I would love to hear it. If you found that something was super helpful, love to hear it. If you found that something was not helpful, I'd also love to hear it. So check it out. Click the link below for top 10 study tips to combat test anxiety.